21 games that's worth to spend over than 100 hours playing. There's some games that's so good, or even has so much content that we can spend so much time playing and doing different things in the game, like missions, exploration, secret items, or even challenges. And just remembering, we'll only talk about single-player games here. Hope you enjoy it. Click in the like, subscribe for more, thanks, and let's go.
Once we were many, now we are few. Hunters, killers of the world's filth, witchers, the ultimate killing machines. Among us, a legend, the one they call Geralt of Rivia, the White Wolf.
The Witcher 3 is a huge and complex third-person action RPG with a great story mode and even better DLCs with an extra game mode inside the game called Gwent, a very fun card game. It was developed by CD Projekt Red and released in 2015 to Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and in 2022 received the free upgrade to the new generation and is now also available on Nintendo Switch. It's all set in a huge open map with an amazing freedom to choose what to do and how to do, with a lot of different endings and ways to deal with the characters. That's the type of game that everyone should play at least once. Despite it has some problems, it's still one of the best games ever made.
Will bring devastation. Each choice will lead to a greater evil.
Nothing more you could have done.
What are we gonna do? We need supplies.
Well, first of all, you're gonna stay here, and you are gonna get yourself warm. Now, I sent John and Mike scouting out ahead. Arthur and I, we're gonna ride out, see if we can find one of them.
And this?
Just for a short bit.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is an amazing and realistic experience on the American West of the ending of the 18th century, with an impressive open world and story. The game was developed by Rockstar Game and released in 2018 to Xbox One and PS4, and later to PC, and so far it didn't get an upgrade to the new generation, but works better on Series X or One X. The missions of this game are all unique, with an unbelievable character development through the story, and set in one of the most realistic open worlds the video games has ever seen. In case you enjoy the experience this game gives you, you can easily spend over 100 hours only on the single-player mode trying to get everything. That's hard, but this game deserves.
Sales. We coat everything in moonshine, and then we light things up with these little fellers here. Thankfully, it ain't rained, and that old barn over there should go up like a torch. At the back. Try to stay out of trouble.
The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is an impressive open-world action RPG, with plenty possibilities to choose which path you shall follow, and infinite build styles. The game was developed by Bethesda, and released in 2011, to PS3, PC, and Xbox 360. But throughout the years this game got a lot of upgrades and new versions, and now is available in every platform possible. The game is set in a fanciful medieval land, in a first and also third-person camera, but to be honest, the third person is kinda strange, so it's better in the first-person mode, with all types of creatures, characters, weapons, and possibilities to choose what to do. The new Elder Scrolls is already announced, but I believe it's still going to take a long time to be released. I'd even say 2027 or later, but for now, if you didn't play Skyrim, you should. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is the biggest adventure of Zelda's series. The game is set in a huge open world with infinite possibilities and a good story. The game was developed by Nintendo and released in 2023 to Nintendo Switch, and so far it's exclusive of that console. What's bad for a side, cause it's a weak console, but Nintendo announced that there will be a better version on Nintendo Switch 2, and it shall run really better there. The game follows Link, a young warrior that's usually searching a way to save the Princess Zelda, and here it's not much different, but this game is impressive in its details, with a huge open map, and infinite things to do, and imagine that everything in this game can be done in a different way, and no, the game won't show you the way, just give the tools. This is the sequel of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but I'd say it's not so required to play Breath of the Wild first. This one is bigger, and greater than the first in this style, so, you must play it.
Link.
I have concluded a very fragile truce with Sigismund, and if anyone should disrupt my plans with headstrong acts of violence, there will be consequences.
I intend to wage war, not parley.
More people. The best thing would be to recruit from your old comrades.
Well, if they're not already swinging on the gallows somewhere.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a realistic and immersive medieval experience, set in a first-person camera, with the most realistic combat ever made in a medieval video game. It was developed by Warhorse Studios and released in 2025 to Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. And if you want to play it, you must know that it's an extreme realistic game in every single detail: combat, story accuracy, and world. The journey is long and slow, so if you don't like realistic games, you should take a better look before playing, cause it's really a medieval simulator with a hard but immersive combat system, a good story, and a very fun exploration, and can even be useful for you to explore how they lived back then, cause as I said, it's realistic in every detail. It's the sequel of the original game released in 2018. That's also a game that's worth to play over 100 hours. You gotta try it.
Will you help us, Henry?
The year is 2077. An economic crisis culminating in nuclear conflict has left America in pieces. With most of the continent degenerating into lawless war zones, people from all over have converged on the already overcrowded Night City, one of the world's last great megalopolises. A hub amassing the best in resources and know-how, and home to manufacturers of cutting-edge technologies, Night City continues to offer the promise of a
Cyberpunk 2077 is a first-person action RPG in a shooter style. The story of the game is great and immersive, with amazing main and secondary characters and different endings. The game was developed by CD Projekt Red and released in 2020 to Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and in 2022 received the free upgrade to the new generation. And despite its launch wasn't very good, today the game is immensely better. It's set in a steampunk world in a beautiful and nocturnal city with nice missions, with different ways to approach them, and impressively good secondary stories, even with possible romances like The Witcher 3. In 2023 the game received a DLC with a new map, characters, and even a better story and missions. So you've played the original game, but didn't play the DLC? You should. They added things that the original game was supposed to have at the launch.
People get caught in the crossfire.
Looking for justice. In Night City, I seek revenge. Much more feasible here.
In this world, consumed by never-ending conflict, sometimes only an outsider will get the job done.
Elizabeth tells me you have answers for us. I'm all ears.
And that's you, an urban mercenary, a cyber-enhanced gun for hire.
You seem to understand each other. Take this, too.
I saved you. And I'm here to save you again. The parasites are merely a
More dangerous than you can possibly conceive. It threatens all who live. It threatens the gods, the weave.
Baldur's Gate 3 is surely the biggest tactical FPS ever created. It's set in a unique and impressive world, with lot of different scenarios, characters, and possibilities. It's serious. It's scary how insane the game can change if you make a small decision. The game was developed by Larian Studios and released in 2023 to Xbox Series X and S, PS5 and PC, and the people that knew the series already knew that it'd be a huge game, but the rest of the world didn't know how good and impressive it'd be, and is now remembered as one of the best games ever, and even got the GOTY award at TGA. What is so interesting in Baldur's Gate 3, beyond the graphics, gameplay, and scenarios, is the details. It's even hard to believe that a game could have so much possibilities. For example, if you choose to talk or don't talk to an NPC, it could change a huge part of the game, and that's just one example. Everything in this game will change something. That's wonderful. Believe what I say, this game is going to be remembered for more than a decade, as a game that a few people believed in, and the whole world was absolutely impressed by its amazing quality.
Ketheric is a frightening man. But you have something he doesn't. Allies worth having.
Together, we will strike down the Absolute.
The Tarnished will soon return. Guided by grace, once lost, order is broken to its core.
Elden Ring is the definitive Souls-like experience, set in a huge and immersive open world, with an immense lore, challenging bosses, and impressive scenarios. The game was developed by From Software and released in 2022 to Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and 5, and PC, and in that year it won the Game of the Year award on the Game Awards, and it's going to be released on Nintendo Switch too. If you've never played Souls-like, know that it's an action RPG, but with some specific features, like a bonfire, Souls mechanic, that's a sort of money, hard bosses, and much more. And Elden Ring is the biggest one so far, and the best one to start if you've never played none before. In 2024 the game received a great expansion, Shadow of the Erd Tree, with over than 20 hours of content, even harder bosses and enemies, and a new map, weapons, and much more, so you should play it.
I command thee now!
You are truly as he anticipated. This is truly an unjust game. But if my voice is reaching you, I beg you, please overcome this game and save the world.
I'll navigate your escape route. Follow my directions.
Get it, Joker!
Persona 5 is a huge and immersive JRPG journey, with a unique style. Usually this game is remembered as one of the best of its type, and that's true, it's an absolutely insane experience. The game was developed by Atlus and released in 2016 to PS4 and PS3, but today you can play different versions of the game, such as Royal, on PC, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series, and that's really worth if you enjoy games in its style. Persona 5 is that type of game that will place you in a dark and fascinating world, with that absolutely amazing storytelling and characters. As you start to learn how things really works in the game, you'll start to feel even more immersive, because of its combat, characters, or even choices possibilities, so I highly recommend you. Usually Atlus create immersive and huge RPG experience, such as Persona games, but they released in 2024 Metaphor ReFantazio, that's also a very interesting experience, but set in a fanciful world.
Gather personas and bring them here. Execute them and continue to give birth to even stronger personas. The world is not as it should be. It faces an inevitable utter ruin. However, mankind is said to hold the power to overturn even the most dire of predicaments.
I'm gonna break your fucking fingers. You don't knock that shit off.
Well, please, all right? You'd alleviate the boredom.
Ah, finally.
GTA 5 is one of the biggest games ever made, a huge action open-world game, and I'll not be talking about the multiplayer here, just the story mode. And despite you can finish the story in under than 30 hours, believe me, it's even more amazing if you try to do the extra stuff. The game was developed by Rockstar Games and released in 2013, and even got the Game of the Year and was released to PS3 and Xbox 360, but in the next years it was released to PC, PS4, Xbox One, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and the PS4 and Xbox One version had some very interesting changes back then, as new features, textures, and even the first-person mode. The story of the game is good, but not a masterpiece like Red Dead Redemption 2 for example, but it was never the GTA style actually. It's more like a fun and impressive open-world game that mixed the reality of the moment with a lot of sarcasm and smart choices, taking no sides, and making an amazing satire of the American world.
Front of the bank, clock the entrance. If the paperwork's correct, the alarm will be a relic. We should be in and out before the local PD knows what's happening.
We should talk about work.
We out here gangbanging like...
Don't stay in there too long, okay? This alarm is gonna go at some point.
You gotta be kidding me! Why did I employ a hacker who can't run antivirus software?
Shit, okay, the alarm hasn't gone off yet.
Everything can change in an instant, whether or not you're ready.
This wasn't the world I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in. This time I'm ready. Because I know war.
War never changes.
Fallout 4 is the last story-driven Fallout release so far. It's an FPS RPG set in a big and destroyed map, with an interesting story, and a very fun exploration and gameplay. The game was developed by Bethesda and released in 2015 to PS4, PC and Xbox One, and in 2024 a free upgrade to the new generations was launched, but actually it wasn't as good as expected. As always in Fallout, the world was semi-destroyed by a nuclear bomb, and those who was on the shelters, or some on the surface, was able to survive, and now you must explore the surface, searching for answers, dealing with mutant creatures, raiders, and doubtful characters. In the start of the game you may feel kinda lost, but as you start to explore and discover the possibilities, you'll feel immersive in the game, with very good missions, with different choices that lead to different endings.
And decide our own future.
We're a man out of time.
This campaign will be costly. But in the end, we will be saving humankind from its worst enemy, itself.
Minecraft is a game that was released in 2009, developed by Mojang, and a lot of people still play it. It's the best-selling game of all time. Some people who didn't play this game may look and think it's a childish simple game, and it can be that if you want, but if you decide to really learn the complexity of the game, giving you an insane freedom to create things the way you want, but the most insane thing of the game is the redstone system. That's basically a sort of energy, and allows you to create any electric thing you can. That may be hard, but you can do, and if you want to see how complex that is, I recommend you to search on internet for the greatest constructions on Minecraft with and without redstone. The gameplay is simple. You can walk, swim, use different items, create different items in a fun mechanic, plant, destroy things to get resources and much more. You can even raise animals and use different enchantments, giving you an infinite game if you really like, but if you've never played it, just try it out, you'll be surprised.
your home was. Before you were overrun by these elves, dwarves, humans, they meddled with a power they didn't understand.
Source.
Divinity Original Sin 2 is a tactical RPG developed by the same studio of Baldur's Gate 3, the Studio Larian Studios. The game was released in 2016 and is now available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, iPad, macOS, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows. The divine is dead. The void approaches, and the powers lying dormant within you are soon to awaken. The battle for divinity has begun. Choose wisely and trust sparingly. Darkness lurks within every heart. This is a role-playing game, in which players assume the role of a hero, on a quest to stop an evil called the Void. From a 3/4 overhead perspective, players explore the fantasy world of Rivelin, interact with various characters, and engage in turn-based combat against human enemies and fantastical creatures.
The Void appeared, attracted by our forbidden magic.
The people turned to the Order for help, but then the Order turned on the people.
Those of us that remain are being hunted, and with good reason.
Together and alone, we must fight for the future of our world.
There's a big mountain to climb. We can do it together. But when we reach that summit, only one of us can be divine.
Story goes that when the world was young, everyone in Alrest lived on the World Tree, together with our Divine Father, the Architect.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is an unique and beloved RPG. The game was developed by the studio Monolith Soft and released in 2017 to Nintendo Switch. Lost in a sea of clouds, entire civilizations live on the backs of titans. As these gigantic monsters walk to their doom, their last hope lies with a treasure hunter named Rexon Pyra, a living weapon known as a blade. Can you find the legendary paradise she calls home? So in the case you like this kinda RPG, got a Nintendo Switch, and never played this game, do yourself a favor and try it out. Ensure that it's going to be absolutely immersive from the beginning to the end, with many memorable moments and an absurdly good storytelling.
I'm in. Let's go to Elysium. I'll take you there myself.
Pyra! Here!
Cover me!
Got it!
We'll show you. We'll show you what me and Pyra are made of.
Stardew Valley is a huge and complex farming game. Don't be fooled by its simple graphics and mechanics. The game is way more complex than you can imagine. It was developed by ConcernedApe and released in 2016, but the game is being updated with new content to this day. The game is available in all platforms you can imagine, so if you want to play it and have any platform released after 2010, the game will probably be available there. It was inspired in the classic Harvest Moon, but it got its own personality. The gameplay is set in an upper camera, and you can do many different things, since take care of your farm, sowing, reaping, take care of the animals, create things with the crops, sell it in different ways, buy infinite things, craft, meet other NPCs, have a relationship with them, you can even marry, and much more. So I'm sure that if you like this kind of game, this game will be a masterpiece for you. Monster Hunter World is a game that's huge, filled with content, all with a great quality. The game was developed by Capcom and released in 2018 to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Windows. Welcome to a new world. In Monster Hunter World, the biggest installment in the series, you can enjoy the ultimate hunting experience, using everything at your disposal to hunt monsters in a new world teeming with surprises and excitement. The gameplay is fast and dynamic, that embraces many styles of gameplay with many different weapons, against many different beasts. This is easily the most beloved game of this series. Many people started playing through this game, and now the new Monster Hunter, that's Monster Hunter Wilds, is finally available to play. Many people are also exploring the universe of that game that so far is not as massive as Monster Hunter World's universe.
The world wound. A cursed land that threatens all life. Not a wasteland or the site of a natural disaster, but an abscess through which the mortal world bleeds into the abyss. Gardens flourished and cities thrived here.
Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is another RPG in the list. The game is set in a turn-based combat, and you that liked Baldur's Gate 3, you'll probably enjoy this one too. Embark on a journey to a realm overrun by demons, in a new epic RPG from the creators of the critically acclaimed Pathfinder Kingmaker. Explore the nature of good and evil, learn the true cost of power, and rise as a mythic hero capable of deeds beyond mortal expectations. The studio that developed the game is Owlcat Games, and it was released in 2021 to PlayStation 4 and 5, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Microsoft Windows, and macOS, and is another game in this style that you can play for a long time, with many possibilities and an insane lore.
There are no common folk here. Only those who are willing to risk everything to defend the world against the endless hunger of the abyss. Or to win glory, to answer the call of forbidden knowledge, to rise above the fate prescribed to mortals. Are you ready to ascend? And if you're ready, which path will you choose? How will your power manifest?
Eivor, you gave your people a new home when your motherland turned bare. You gave the Vikings something to fight for. You have tamed these broken kingdoms.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is the RPG Assassin's Creed of the Vikings. The game was obviously developed by Ubisoft and released in 2020 and is available on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Microsoft Windows, and Amazon Luna. The game is set in Norway and England, and it's probably the biggest Assassin's Creed ever, with a huge map and numerous characters, and a lot of quests and side quests. The story is interesting, but as always in the RPG Assassin's Creed game, the storytelling is not that good, but the gameplay and combat is really fluid, with many weapons, armors, and a huge skill tree that allows you to be always evolving the character. That's Eivor, and in the start you'll choose if Eivor will be a man or a woman. Personally, this is something that I don't like, cause it feels like the character should be better developed if it was just one, but if you like the gameplay, you can easily play over 100 hours.
Let's go. It's time to capture a kingdom.
Now go, Eivor.
The gods tend to keep their distance, even among the faithful. That suits us fine. Last time a god headed our way, he killed thousands. After we stopped him, a whole generation came out
Pillars of Eternity is an isometric story-rich RPG game. It was developed by the studio Obsidian Entertainment, the same studio that just released Avowed now. That's in the same universe by the way, but the structure of the game and the gameplay itself are totally different. The game was released in 2015 and is now available on Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, macOS, Xbox One, Linux, GeForce Now, and Microsoft Windows. Prepare to be enchanted by a world where the choices you make and the paths you choose shape your destiny. Obsidian Entertainment, the developer of Fallout New Vegas and South Park The Stick of Truth, together with Paradox Interactive, is proud to present Pillars of Eternity, an insane RPG for you that like games with a rich universe filled with lore and possibilities.
This is our punishment. It's no way to teach a lesson. If it's something else, maybe we can stop it too.
The decreed hour is come. Set forth with my blessing, Prince Noctis.
Thank you, Your Majesty. Insomnia Falls.
Final Fantasy XV is an open-world action RPG, and was the first game of the series that brought this new style of gameplay, what disappointed some fans, but also brought some new fans to the series. The game was released in 2016, developed by the legendary studio Square Enix, and today you can play on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Windows, but of course you can also play in the new generation. The universe of the game is huge, with many possibilities, interesting characters, incredible boss fights, and an insane and fast combat. So if you like open-world RPG games, this one is very good one, with an immense open map to explore, a rich lore with a good storytelling, and some boss fights that in my opinion are really impressive to this day. But it's still a Final Fantasy, so it's still got the classic style of story and characters. So don't you think this is going to be a The Witcher 3 or Skyrim, because it's not.
We were once a nation of hope. A beacon of light in a world of chaos. But now, we are broken. My son, my heir.
The city is secure. Those who fled are being hunted, and those foolish enough to remain have been executed.
Do you see all that I have done?
The war's over. And we've lost.
Destiny 2 is an insane looter-shooter game. Despite it's also a game with a big cooperation idea, you can also play alone. What's not as fun as playing with friends, but is still very fun. The game was developed by the studio Bungie and released in 2017, and today you can play in many different platforms: PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Microsoft Windows. Explore the mysteries of the solar system and experience responsive first-person shooter combat. Unlock powerful elemental abilities and collect unique gear to customize your Guardian's look and playstyle. Enjoy Destiny 2's cinematic story, challenging co-op missions, and a variety of PvP modes alone or with friends. The core of the game is free, but there are numerous expansions to buy if you like it, and to this day, there are still new content being added to the game. So it's really worth to try.
Our numbers will continue to dwindle. We can no longer protect ourselves, much less the survivors. We all know what needs to be done.
Get up close and personal with Gulp. Put a bullet in his head.
This was the video, guys. Hope you liked it. Comment your favorite ones on the list and also let me know if there are more games that's worth in your opinion. Well, thank you, and so long.